Thank you, Chairman Moran. Thank you, Attorney General Barr, for your service and for being here, and for Mr. Loftus. I have many questions about the budget, but I'm going to first turn to some questions that I think are more urgent and concerning about the special counsel's report. The primary purpose of the special counsel's investigation was both to thoroughly investigate issues around the 2016 election, but also to provide a clear and objective conclusion in a report to the American people. I'm concerned that over the last 3 weeks, your actions have created some confusion and distrust around the process, and look forward to the imminent release of as much of that report as you can to the American people and to Congress. You stated that the redacted portions of the special counsel's report will be color-coded and accompanied by explanatory notes to describe the basis for redactions. Will those notes merely indicate which of the 4 categories was applied, or provide some information to Congress about the specific justification for redactions? You mentioned you envision a situation where Congress, under the appropriate safeguards, could verify the redaction categories weren't abused. Can you tell me something about the safeguards you have in mind?
I don't know how detailed the descriptions will be. Some of them may just be generic, but some of them may be able to provide additional information. So, for example, if there's a gag order in a case that says, apart from whatever we feel about impinging on the case, there's a gag order that would be implicated by release, I expect that will be put in.
And are those safeguards likely to be worked out with the chair and ranking of judiciary, who also just happen to be with us?
Now, in terms of the safeguards, so for example, an easy one in my view is the classified information. I would just want to make sure there were adequate safeguards and shared with a limited number of people, that kind of thing, the thing we would normally do in this situation.
I was struck that the District Court of the District of Columbia reported recently the grand jury convened by Mueller has not been discharged and is continuing its investigation. Did anyone pressure the special counsel to conclude his investigation and submit his report before it was complete?
I didn't.
Did anyone else, to your knowledge?
Not that I'm aware of.
Why? There are press accounts that members of the special counsel's team as investigators prepared summaries for public release of sections of the report. Why did you summarize the principal conclusions reached by the special counsel and the results of investigation rather than releasing some of these prepared for public release summaries?
So actually, Deputy Attorney General Rosenstein and I were expecting a report that would make it very easy for us to determine what had to be taken out and what wasn't, and that's not how the report came to us. I immediately recognized that there was going to be some significant lag time between our receipt of the report and when we could actually get it out, and decided that none of it was releasable as I received it, because none of it had been vetted for 6E material, but every page on it had a warning that it could contain 6E material. So
every page had a warning, and you were certain that the Mueller team had not vetted it.
It had not been vetted.
There weren't summaries. Let me get to 2 other questions, if I could. Forgive me.
So I'm just saying that I felt it was important to just advise the country as to what the bottom line conclusions were. I was not interested actually in, even if I had summaries available, which I did not on Sunday, that were vetted, I wouldn't have put out summaries, because I think summaries, no matter who's preparing them, are going to be subject to criticism. People have to remember that generally the Department of Justice does come out with binary conclusions. And so just stating the bottom line on each of those, I think, was entirely appropriate.
Who, if anyone, outside the Justice Department has seen portions or all of the special counsel's report? Has anyone in the White House seen any of the report?
I'm not gonna, as I say, I'm landing the plane right now, and I've been willing to discuss my letters and the process going forward, but the report's going to be out next week, and I'm just not going to get into the details of the process until the plane's on the ground.
At what point will you allow Congress to know whether or not the White House was given the full report, briefed on the report, shared sections of the report?
Once I go up to
It is striking the president claimed complete and total exoneration if he didn't either see the report or was briefed on the report.
As I said, you know, once the report is out, I'm happy to discuss the process.
I very much look forward to that. Given, my last question, given your unsolicited June 8th letter to the Justice Department regarding obstruction of justice, did you ever consider recusing yourself from making a conclusion about whether a charge of obstruction of justice should have been made?
Well, I consulted with the career ethics officials at the department.
And they concluded that your memo on that topic did not require your recusal?
That is correct.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.